Right, for the duration of this session, the breathing is as follows. Breathe in and out through the nostrils. When you breathe in, fill the lower abdomen and then the chest. When you breathe out, you'll just breathe out the opposite way. So when you breathe in, consciously fill the lower abdomen, then the upper chest, and then breathe out, in and out through the nostrils. The only exception to this is when you perform what's called a clearing breath. And the clearing breath is almost the same, except when you're standing doing a clearing breath, you put your hands on your hips and you fill your chest as full as you can with air, and then breathe out through the mouth and blow as if you're blowing out a candle some distance away. You want to put some energy into that blow. So that's the clearing breath. But the rest of the time, always breathe in and out through the nostrils. Okay, so to start, you want to stand in the resting position, which is feet shoulder width apart, hands straight by your side, body nice and relaxed, and just breathe in and out a few times till you get used to breathing in that rhythm. In, fill the lower abdomen, then the chest, and then out. In through the nostrils, out through the nostrils. And just do 2 or 3 of those breaths to sort of get yourself centered. And then bring your hands up to your hips and 2 clearing breaths. After the 2 clearing breaths, take a deep breath in through the nostrils and raise your hands with your arms straight out from the sides, and then spin around 5 times in a clockwise direction. If you're in the southern hemisphere, spin in an anti-clockwise direction. When you finish the 5 spins, return to the resting position, lower your arms and release the breath. So you hold the breath for the whole 5 spins, and then you release. 2 clearing breaths, and then lie down on the mat. You want your legs sort of straight out in front of you, the feet not quite touching, and your arms straight down by your sides with your hands flat on the ground next to your hips. And then as you breathe in, curl the toes up towards your chest, bring your legs straight up in the air and lift your shoulders and your head and your neck, and curl your head round so that your chin comes down towards the chest. When you breathe out, release the toes, straighten out your feet, and then bring the legs down and lower your head back to the ground slowly. Do this 5 times. Breathe in through the nostrils. You have inside your chest at this point a kind of ball of compressed air. When you curl your body up, that ball of compressed air is kind of massaging your internal organs. So it's not just the stretch. The breathing is very important. You want to have at least half of your attention on the breathing, the other half of your attention on the movement. After you've done this for a few weeks, you'll find your attention can be anywhere because you'll be in autopilot. Okay, after 5 of those, stand up again in the resting position, hands on hips, 2 clearing breaths. And then 1 breath as you change position. So change into the kneeling position for the 3rd movement. And when you kneel down, you want to have your toes curled under your feet so that your feet are tense, sort of like springs, and your bottom either in between your heels or resting on your heels, and your hands resting on your upper thighs. Then when you breathe in, kneel up straight, put your hands on your lower back just above the buttocks, and give a slight push with the heel of your hands. As you lean back, let your head go right back, let your mouth come open, but don't breathe through your mouth. All the way back until you feel the stretch in your thighs, at the front of your thighs. And then, as you breathe out, come back into the kneeling position. All the way down, hands on your thighs. Breathe in, lift up, onto the back, slight push. Lean back, stretch into the thighs. Let your head go back, mouth come open, and then breathe out and return to the resting position. 5 times. So in, up, push, back, relax, feel the stretch, and then let the breath out and return to the resting position. After 5 of those, stand up again. I'll just give you time to do all 5. Okay, stand up again. Feet in the resting position, hands on hips, 2 clearing breaths. Now you don't need your mat anymore, and actually I find it a hindrance from this point forward, so I usually kick it out of the way. Now sit on the ground with your feet out in front of you, about shoulder width apart. Your arms, hands flat on the floor, hands next to the hips. And then as you breathe in, swing forward, rock forward on your heels, and lift your hips up into the air. Let your head go back. Now don't force anything, don't push too hard. You lift as high as you can lift, but don't push it. And just at the top of the lift, squeeze your buttocks together. It'll give you just that little extra lift. And gradually over time you'll find that you'll be able to lift much higher. But when you start off, it doesn't matter how high you get off the ground, just get something off the ground. Rock forward on the heels so that your feet are flat on the ground, your hands are flat on the ground, your weight is resting evenly on your hands and your feet, and lift your midriff section. Let your head go back. In fact, if you move your head back, if you put a bit of energy into that, it does lift your hips a little higher as well, but don't strain anything. It's very important you don't push yourself in this. Go at the pace you're comfortable with. 5 of those, stand up again, 2 clearing breaths, and now into the last exercise. Lean forward, put your hands flat on the ground, and then move your feet back so that your weight's on your toes, heels in the air, and then let your midriff down towards the floor. Don't actually touch the floor, but come right close to it, and lift your head up as you breathe out. And then breathe in and lift your buttocks high into the air and bring your head up towards your chest. So breathe out as you come down, lift your head up, and then breathe in as you lift up. Out as you come down, breathe in as you lift up. You sort of try and move your heels in the direction of the floor. I don't expect to touch the floor, at least not at this stage, but you will get there eventually. 5 of those, 2 clearing breaths, and that's it. That's the complete routine. It takes 5 minutes. You do that every day, and I guarantee you'll feel like a new person in a very short order.